Hello there again, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So let's take a look at the next figure. This figure is the PNSO Huanghetitan. Many of you guys know this figure has been around for quite some time. It is based off a Chinese sauropod with remains from one or two ribs and a couple of neck vertebrae, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now this figure is downright huge. It is in 1/35 scale, and on first impressions it is a beast, and it is very detailed. Now the pose is the simple walking pose. As you can see, it's a big piece, quite difficult to fit into the frame. And now let's take a closer look, shall we? So first of all, wait, let's get it to focus. That's it. Look at the head or the face of the animal. Very nicely sculpted. The right amount of wrinkles in the scales. Eyes painted a golden color, like that. You can see. Now you can see the lips are a bit white. Yes, the paint on this figure is easily chippable, and the figure arrived like that in my packaging, so I guess it was damaged, slightly damaged, but nonetheless doesn't detract from the beauty of the sculpt and the size of the figure. Look at that. Let's go down to the neck. Look how heavy the muscle looks. Heavy, dense looking muscle on a very wide neck. Again, the wrinkles and scales all arranged beautifully. As you see on the back of the neck, if you guys can see, yeah, you got a lot of wrinkles and scales as well. And along the back, along the spine of the animal, you can see a lot of osteoderms and white dry brushing to make it look like there is dust caked into the skin. Okay, so take a look there. Now we'll go to the shoulder. Oh my god, look at that. The random osteoderms just really make it look like a real life animal, because there's so many random details on the skin. Look at the massive shoulder blade there. Massive shoulder blade. The musculature. The paint is mostly a brown paint, and then we have some maybe lighter dry brushing, I guess, here. Go on to the forelimbs. Accurately depicted with one forelimb claw. The feet, not so crescent shaped like it's supposed to be. Now we go to the huge, this in my opinion is almost oversized. I mean, the abdomen of this figure is gargantuan. It is huge. It is huge. And it is very round. A lot of scales again. Now we'll take a look at the hind limbs. Oh my god, it's huge. Look at the claws. Now the claws are there's supposed to be 3 painted claws here. I don't know why there's suddenly 1 painted claw here. Ironically, I mean, the weird thing is that the claw on the other side, there are 3 claws. So yeah. And the tail, they got a nice deep muscular tail that is nice and long. There you go. Let's take a look on the other side. Yeah, you guys can see that. The details are amazing. On this side you can see a bit of a seam line here. But I mean, given the price of this figure and the huge size and the detail, I honestly can't complain that much. Again, some paint chips here. Another seam line here. And look at the huge rear hind limbs. And then here, this is what I'm talking about. On the other side it's painted black, on this side it's right. There's 3 painted claws and 2 stub toes. Again, look at this. From this view you can definitely appreciate the extreme roundness of the abdomen. My goodness, truly represents a titanosaur in my opinion. Again, the front limbs, the massive shoulder blade, the really muscular neck, and then back to the head. Look at that. Now let's take a look at the figure from the front. This is a definite must. Just look at the thickness of the neck of this animal. Look at that. Oh my. See how thick this Huanghetitan's neck is? It's almost like a giant python of some sort. Especially when you compare it to the size of the head. Wait. Let me just look at that. Oh my goodness, the neck is so thick. But from afar you can see proportions wise, the neck is relatively, I would say, not that long if you compare it to other toys of brachiosaurs and whatnot. But again, the neck remains of this animal are fragmentary, so again, space for artistic licensing. But this piece definitely represents a good representation of a titanosaur because of, take a look from above, look at how thick that abdomen is. So damn thick. The neck is so thick as well. Everything is so wide. I guess when they made this figure, they wanted to represent an animal that had a huge abdomen, seeing that the ribs of the Huanghetitan, the rib remains, are one of the largest rib remains of any animal found. So again, this figure is big, it's beautiful, it's imposing. The pose, it's like an alpha male or a matriarch walking, showing his presence, proudly walking, knowing that no other predator is capable of taking it down. So it just walks around. Now again, the color scheme is a nice brown color scheme, very natural, like most PNSO figures, natural colors, not so outstanding. And then give it a little tap. It's made of quite sturdy material. The legs are very stiff. The tail is, as you can see, slightly bendy. The neck is very stiff, but it is a hollow figure. It came from the line of PNSO, giant PNSO hollow vinyl figures. And so the size of this figure, as I measured it previously, along the spine, 80 centimeters or 31 inches long, and then the height of the figure, 40 centimeters to about 15 inches, 40 centimeters or 15 inches tall. And that would roughly equate to an animal that is 28 meters long or 91 feet long and 14 meters tall or 45 feet tall. So definitely a giant animal indeed. Now I'm guessing the width, probably the widest dinosaur I've ever owned. The width, probably 12 centimeters, maybe 5 inches wide, maybe. I forgot to measure that one. So my overall thoughts for this figure, initially I was questioning myself whether I should buy one of these or not. In the pictures, the finishing, the figure looks shiny, like wet, and I don't like that. I want my sauropods to be nice and matte. Apparently, when I received the figure, the finishing is a matte finishing, which is good. And then the size of the animal, it's so large, but once you hold it in hand, you really truly appreciate the size. Now let me put a comparison next to a figure that many have. The Safari Limited Triceratops. Just look at the size difference, guys. Come on. Look at that. It's crazy to imagine how something so large actually existed, once walked the earth. My goodness. What a beast. Definitely a Titanosaur figure. You sauropod fans definitely should grab it, because this figure is affordable and huge. It's very difficult to find a figure this big but affordable and fully assembled, fully painted. So I highly recommend it. And that's it, guys. Okay, see you next time. If you have any questions, hit me up below. Bye. Thank you.